this crew is the same still, and we have some guests. Hi Fifi and hi Sibu. Good evening.
Yeah.
First question, what brought you here, Fifi?
We've been here from January, right? The 13th of January.
Yeah.
And we leaving on the 14th of July. And we are here to just exchange, culture, experience, and everything that we can learn in the 6 months about Germany and everything.
So that's the same with you.
Yeah, thank you. And also, thank you to your listeners at home. Like Fifi said, it's a youth exchange development program. We also try to address HIV prevention and also looking at how young people live their lives in Germany as compared to South Africa, and also exchange these multicultural skills. Yeah, genau.
But what were your most interesting impressions, or what perhaps is the most strange thing about Germany for you?
That's a most difficult question, because Germany, it's unique on its own way, especially Dresden with its old building. It's something out of this world. So I think we don't have such old buildings in South Africa as compared to Dresden specifically. But also the culture of the German peoples is also unique. The experience that we share and learn from other young people, it's also unique. And also looking at the history that Germany has, it's almost something compared to South Africa, but with a very difficult but also rich history. And for me, it's coming from a country where we experienced apartheid, and it's one of similar histories in terms of that, but also the experience in a whole, it's very unique.
I've never seen a place with so much history. Because everywhere where we go, they tell us something about the place and the people and everything. I've never seen so much museums, and we've
Sorry
been
for that.
We've been to, I think, more than 5 museums already, and also adding up on the old buildings. I've never seen such beautiful buildings, most especially the buildings at the Elbe River.
Oh, yeah.
They kill me.
Yeah.
Except from those buildings and museums and stuff, regarding everyday life, what are your, did you make some observations in which ways life differs from what you experience at home and experience here?
Okay, look, I work in Dresden with the AIDS helper in Bischofsweg. I go to school, attend workshop with learners in different schools in Dresden, and also being out in Dresden. And the HIV prevalences in Germany, it's so low, it's so amazing. And how the German government and also different institutions address this HIV epidemic, and also how young people contact themselves outside with life in terms of healthy sexuality, and also making positive life choices. So it's one of the themes that I address on daily basis. So for me, it's incredible and amazing when you in a country where all 45,000 people affected with HIV. Hence in South Africa, it's about 15% of the population. We're talking about 5.7 million affected or infected with HIV. Actually, that's how worse the situation is. And I think 280,000 people die per annum in South Africa, while in Germany it's about 500 people dying per annum. So the HIV prevalences is so low in Germany. So that's something that we as young people of South Africa, or as a South African nation, can learn from Germany in terms of their HIV and AIDS strategies and how they deal with the HIV epidemic. So as young people, we've been here in Germany, we've captured that. We're taking a lot of experience home on how to address these issues, and we've learned so much from students and also the community, the people from Dresden here.
Do you think it's not an issue of resources how HIV is dealt with in Southern Africa? I think perhaps mortality also depends on medication and stuff. So, what are the reasons for this illness playing such a big role in your country?
Look, we now, South African government has come a long way in terms of addressing HIV and AIDS in the country. We're speaking now, South Africa, it's one of the country with the biggest ARV rollout program in the whole world. We've got that program, and it's funded by the United States. People access treatment for free in South Africa. Now, the situation that we're facing, it's individual attitude. We've came a long way in terms of addressing HIV and AIDS. Workshops are everywhere, billboards, TV series, radio series. We're talking about HIV on daily basis. Condoms are distributed everywhere for freely. So it's about personal attitude and how young people conduct themselves in their different angles of life. So it has to do more with how we as young people respond to the HIV epidemic. So it's more about personal behavior.
And Fifi, what is your most important observation comparing everyday lives?
With me, it's totally different from Sibu's everyday life in Germany. I worked first, the first 3 months, I worked at FIS, Freie Alternative Schule, where I was helping them with English lessons and just getting to know, the differences between South African schools and German schools. The way they did the everyday lessons, everyday programs of the school was for me totally different, When we go to school, you go with a uniform and you take your textbooks and everything with you, and it's every day like that. So for me, it was totally different because, firstly, they go to school with private clothes. That was totally different for me. And now I'm working at a kindergarten in Prolis, and I worked with a group of kids with 16 kids, and they're all 5 years old. And that is wonderful, and every day I go to work expecting something hilarious, expecting something new from the kids, because the differences between the kids in school and the kids at the kindergarten is also huge, because at school it was actually tough for me to get involved with the kids. I mean, they are 15, 14 years old, and somehow when I had to help them with English lessons, they would get shy, to ask me questions, to actually be involved to get me involved in their daily school routine. And for me, it was also difficult because I just sit there and wait for a question, and sometimes I wouldn't even get a question, so it was tough. But at the kindergarten, every day when you get there, everyone wants to tell you what they did in the afternoon. They want to tell you what their mothers bought for them, what they have for lunch. And that is fulfilling. That puts a smile every day on my face, that since the very first day at the kindergarten, I've never had problems with either the teachers or the kids. And that's my daily experience, from the kindergarten and also the school. The differences were also in South Africa. You can say you don't want to have your abitur, grade 12, you call it matric, but here most of the children that I worked with at FIS, they told me that they don't want to do their abitur. They don't see a necessity why they should do it. And with us, it was also different from my South African perspective to say that with the South African kids, for us it's a big privilege to actually have abitur, so that's quite the only difference that was there.
Roman was telling me to pose the question, what's the difference like between, because we talked about school system and kindergartens and stuff like this. Is there a big difference between the countryside and the bigger cities, or is it more or less the same in South Africa? If you want to, if you can also say something.
Look, it's a very different situation. In South Africa, you also find rural places, and it's where there's you find 40 or to 52 children in a small class. So most schools are overcrowding, and children cannot receive individual attention, so which makes the learning environment not so conducive for the students. And while you look here, children, you get only 20 children in a class of 15, which makes it much easier for the teachers to teach and also give special attentions to the individuals. Hence, also in South Africa, you still find children learning under trees. So it's a very difficult situation that we have, but also have to acknowledge that we working, we are achieving as South Africans. We're running away to say our social problems, to hide from our social problems. As young people, we want to be so much innovative and brings ways that will uplift our communities on daily basis. That's what I believe is if we've got the social systems like for example, poverty, and say, I don't want to go to school because I'm from a poverty-stricken family. At the end of the day, you are causing more poverty in your family. So as young people, we have to run away from that fact and come up with innovative things and say, this is what we want for our country. We are young people, we need to be innovative.
Okay, and do you have the impression that this is what institutions, what the state welcomes, and that it's a role which you can play, or is it somehow that you more or less have to struggle against the things that are like they have always been, and people not getting their not moving, or
Yeah, things are happening, and there's more development happening in the country. We also have mobile classes you find in the rural villages. However, like I indicated, with the overcrowding of students in classes, it's a huge problem. And also you find children still learning under the trees. However, as South African, we came a long way. I know we also have a preschool where you can also take a child after crash, because in most cases after 4 years a child cannot be in crash. You need to take them to preschool, so it's where they start preparing themselves for primary schools. So that is in the South African education system, and not sure about Germany. Hence, Fifi's got much information on that because he worked more with schools and kindergarten, as I indicated earlier, much in the AIDS Health organization, and work with students regarding HIV and AIDS and other social problems in South Africa. Yeah.
I think also adding up on what Sibu said, like a lot of kindergartens in the rural areas, it's not only one building where it's the kindergarten, it's somebody's backyard. There's a house, and then there at a 2-room, then there's a, they say it's a kindergarten. So they can't actually have 10 kids in one class so that they can have that, individual connection with every kid. But they've got kids from 4 to 6 in one class, and that is very big. I'd say, it's a huge number to have one group as one class,
Fifi, you mentioned you're working at the radio station also back in South Africa. What kind of station is it?
I worked at the Linsui community radio station. It's a small but slowly getting bigger community radio station in my hometown in South Africa, Parys. And it's been on air, I think, 12 years now, more or less. And the type of shows that I did, I started very, very young. And I did one show on Saturdays, and it was 1 hour, whereby it was called Reahola. It means we are growing up. And I was working with kids from the ages, I think, 8 until 12. And we only talked and discussed topics that could involve kids that age. And now I was working at I was working with another presenter, and we did a show for 4 hours, which it was only a youth show where we talked about topics that could that actually involve people our age, HIV and AIDS, sex, religion, schools, alcohol, all that things. And yeah.
And what is the special about your station? Is it what role plays community radio for the community, and what is the difference to maybe commercial radio stations or?
With the community radio stations, it's more for the community, where it's to inform people, the community, about things that are happening in the community. Mostly in our townships, we've got problems with water. Now and then, like the water, we don't know what's going on with the pipes, and you'll hear on the radio that from this day to this day, there won't be water in some sections. Electricity is also a very big problem in South Africa, so they tell us now and then. It's actually to inform and to be involved with the community. Everything that happens in the community, you can hear it, and on the radio station, you don't miss it. And also to actually be involved with, I think, teenagers mostly,
Okay, that's quite different to our self-understanding. So I have to think about it, because for us it's a little bit more that, or perhaps it also plays a role for your stations that, it's we want. We don't want to prepare people who are somehow successful doing radio business or making a living out of it, being moderators somehow. Perhaps you realize our unprofessional style and our kind of making radio, which is nothing comparable, or it's not comparable to what commercial radio stations do. Is it for you also? Are you open to people, or is your station open to people who just get in once to because they have an important issue on their mind, and what troubles them, and they are everything but professional, and then they draw back after one show? When I got in, I actually told Sibu that this is actually the type of radio station that I work in. Like you asked, answering your question, a lot of people also come in now and then just to say something that they feel like saying, and just to sing, just to make poet, or just to read a book or tell other people about some important things that they should know, more or less like this radio station. That's it. I would like to ask you some questions about society, and South Africa is somehow a capitalist country like Germany, I would say. Is it?
Yeah, we can say, yeah.
or what would you describe your society like?
Those type of questions, I normally give them to Sibu because he's very good in it.
I also gave it to Sibu.
Well, it's a different. I can say we have different opinions. We'll come to that, but it's also a capitalist country, of course. It's not one of the things that one can be so much profound of. And yeah, in South Africa, it's we know we're in the mining sector. Most of our minerals, it's what generate or keeps the country going, and it's a capitalist country, of course.
And is there a sense which perhaps at least a larger minority in the country is sharing, that somehow this kind of economic order might be a source of problems, or endangering our possibility to survive the next few hundred years as humanity or as mankind? Or is it more that there is, I would say, there is a growing minority throughout Europe which sees a certain crisis and says capitalism is a big problem as a way of living and doing business. And I would say in Germany it's not that important yet, like perhaps in Greece or in southern European countries, where people experience in a more drastic or dramatic way what life changes like if some things don't work anymore like they used to. And are there many people with critical attitude towards this kind of economic order in South Africa, or is it more like most people being satisfied with the possibilities within the system?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, because South Africa is now finding itself addressing the apartheid legacy. Now you have a group of the minority being rich, the minority which is the white people, if so to say correctly, and most black people being poor, poverty-stricken household. And you find that there's inequality within the working environment. However, you also get now a group of a second class of black people emerging, being rich. You also have black millionaires from the democracy that we have emerging. So I'm so optimistic about this that 10 years, 15 years, South Africa will never ever be the same. But then when you look in terms of inequality in the countries, the poor still remains being poor and the rich are getting more richer. So how do we bridge the gap? We need to bring structures such as education being free for everyone. Look, universities are so expensive in South Africa. It's so difficult after completing your matric. You want to go to university, but you cannot afford your studies. So it's important that we bring an innovative way of making universities free for all South African young people, and also create a learning environment that will be user-friendly for everyone in South Africa, so that at the end of the day we have this equality amongst white and black people living in the country.
It was you mentioned it was important to you somehow not to speak a little bit about your program, to about your host families, because it's important to you, or I think I heard it between the lines or between your words that you enjoy very much your possibility to stay here, and somehow wanted to convince others and perhaps greet your host families. Just do so.
We just wanted to actually say this to thank our host families for everything, from January till now. I'm speaking for my own now. From January till now, I've been surrounded by a lot of love, from my host family, and oh my gosh, I do more crying than talking when I talk about my host family, because they really touch me a lot. When I was in South Africa, I was worried. We were all, worried if we'll be in the right family, will we connect, but from the very first day till this day, I love my family, and I still feel welcomed, and I still feel that I want to learn more about them. I want to, be more around them. And now I know that we only have like a month left in Germany, and it breaks my heart, because I really want to, get, I don't know, more.
Take them all with you.
Yeah, I'd like that, But I really love this family, and I thank Connie Jager, because she's the one that actually placed all our families, placed us in the families, and she didn't make a mistake. She placed me in the right family. So thank you very much to Connie. And
it's a bit different situation with me and Fifi, because I'm the oldest in the program, so I'm not really in the host families. I'm just sharing accommodation. However, I must say it's nice, because when I came here, I was told that you're going to share accommodation with someone. You're not in a host families, but for me, it's like, it's a host family. We connect, and we share almost everything. He opened his house. He opened everything for me in his house. And for me, it's very important to keep the relationship going. And also, I'm being thankful for the love and support that I'm getting from him, because we communicate almost about everything. If I've got problems within the working environment or within the group, I know there's someone to talk to. If I've got problems or want to share something, I know there's someone to talk to. So we all human beings will live together. And for me, it's much important. And I have to say, before coming to Dresden, I was so nervous. Like Fifi said, we were wondering what's going to happen to us, the host families. But then today I'm so relaxed, and everything, it's good. And today, heute, I can proudly say, ich bin ein Dresdner.
Yeah, in today's life, we have a lot of media, internet, Twitter, and so on. Can one of you give us an impression? How does it work in South Africa? Is Twitter there something important? Do you write blogging, or is it very common to use such media, or is it more focused on radio stations or TV programs, or how is the media usage in your area?
On the social network side of it, I think we just like kids here or teenagers here, because every day in a tram you see teenagers like our age, and also a bit grown-up people on their phones. From one station to the other station, there's no communication, With us, we don't use trams, we use taxis, so it's a bit smaller, like 15 people in one taxi. And when you get in a taxi, you greet, hello, and then you're on your phone up until wherever you're going. So I think the social networks, it's playing a very big role everywhere. I would say in South Africa before I came here, but now I see that also in the trams, also in the restaurants, everybody's busy with their phones. So it's everywhere. It's huge, very huge.
And also, young people in South Africa, they Facebooking. So Facebook is very huge in South Africa, also Twitter, because at the moment it's one of the easiest and cheapest way to communicate or reach out to family and friends and people around the world. Yes, internet, it's very slow in South Africa. Internet is very slow and very expensive. However, with Facebook, you've got your BIS, BlackBerry, internet services. It's you purchase the monthly bundles for 60 rand, and you connected throughout the month. It's unlike in Germany where you pay 17 euros for the whole year or a month. Yeah, a month. Then you've got internet. Yeah, that's South Africa. It's very slow in internet.
Yeah, and is the internet also used for political discussions? You told us that the overcoming of the apartheid history is still a big issue, and are there also political groups organizing over, let's say, Facebook or other bloggings also, or is it more like the fun life that is organized via the media?
I saw it someday this week on Facebook, that Facebook has everything, also the political side of life. When you go to Facebook and you just click I think politics or something, you will find a page on Facebook for politics. So Facebook, I'm not sure about Twitter that much, if it has a lot of or a huge political side of it, but then on Facebook you get everything, so people that want to be more involved in the politics side of whatnot, they can just go on Facebook and then go to the political pages, and people who want to go on the fun side of it just do the normal thing, because Facebook is more fun, So I think Facebook plays a huge role in the whole world, more than Twitter and other all things, because it has everything. Yeah.
You mentioned now, that the media play a role in the political life of the parties like the ANC or others. Yeah. If I look to Germany, we have the situation that the big parties lose more and more support in general. There are a lot of people don't go to the votes, but there is a lot of other initiatives. There are groups of people against maybe environmental problems or other problems having to do with social problems like poverty, for instance. There are also in Germany, we have also a big difference between the rich and the poor. The poor are really poor, even though the country is rich. But there are a lot of groups, organizations work outside the state. They are doing their own thing. They are organize themselves, and this is mostly supported by blogging or Facebook or so on. Is there in South Africa also such a development that independent groups outside the state parties or the state as an institution come up and look for certain specific problems or for general problems in society? Or is the political life dominated by the big parties and also then the communication in the big media or in the social media?
Oh yeah, South Africa, the political parties, you have the ANC, which is the ruling party, and like in any country, you get people being disappointed by their ruling party or the present government. Is also happening in South Africa, and I think it's up to the political party to open the channels how people communicate their grievances or their disappointment to the parties. However, ANC, it's big. It's got tripartite with the alliances, which is COSATU, the biggest teachers and mine workers organizations in South Africa. They support the ANC. During the election, they also campaign for the ANC. So it's one of a big party, and for me, it's about opening and also people being open-minded. It's like we moved from apartheid to now we post-apartheid, and it's up to people what they want to elect. We've got so many political parties in South Africa. If you want to open a political party, you can register one with the IEC and start, campaigning for your political party. If people have got concerns or disappointment, I think it's up to them. It's their choice which political party they vote, or like the issue of service delivery, which is a big problem in South Africa, and also corruption, which is a big problem in South Africa. If people are not happy about corruption, if people are not happy about service delivery, what do? It's their freedom, it's their right. They can choose to elect ANC. They can choose to elect other political parties. It's in their hand. If they want to continue with the ANC, they can do that. But at the end of the day, you have to look what's best for you and what you want for the next generations. I think it's about time that people of South Africa, we like ANC liberated us from apartheid, ANC this, ANC that, but we don't look beyond that. If I mean we looking at corruption on nowadays, what's happening in South Africa, gender-based violences, the social challenges we have. Everyone has a right, and you can choose what you want best for your country. It's all in our hands as South Africans.
I would continue with the questions in the political context. When you came here from a system, you learned the society in South Africa. Did you see something about the political issues or the topics that are discussed here in the country, or is it not in your focus? Could you see something there, or here in Germany? Could you even recognize the problems that are discussed here? You find like in Germany we've got the right wing, the left wing political parties, and for me it's something very interesting to look at what informs these decisions and also how they operate. I've been trying to follow it very closely. Hence, it's a very different story in South Africa. We voting for political parties that will deliver service to the communities, political parties that will liberate people, and we stage where we want equal livelihood for everyone. So for me, it's like I once attended with a colleague of mine. We attended a legislature meeting that was held by a mayor in the mayor from Dresden in here. They were talking about the social system in Germany, like the kindergarten, because there's an issue that the kindergartens are small, and there's a number of children, a lot of number of children emerging now in Germany. So the community is concerned that, now my child won't get that attention from the teacher, won't get that attention from the teacher. My child won't be able to play freely because now the space is a small space in the kindergarten. They need more kindergartens to be built in Dresden. So the mayor had to address that issue as well. How do they go about addressing that issue? And for me, it was the response that I've seen the media also play a very critical role in terms of pressurizing the political party. How do you deal with the issue? So it's like everyone is involved, from individual people, the parents, and also the media. And the next weekend I saw the story on TV. It was unbelievable, and also the following day it was on newspapers. And I think it's a way of the media putting pressure on our people our political leaders that we elect, and also reinforcing the commitment to savings delivery. So it was a very important thing that I've seen. Yeah. let's say 1-2 years ago, you decided to come here in this country. And could you tell something about your motivation? Why this country, with all the problems that we have here in Dresden, especially, we have a lot of Nazis also. How came in your mind to come here in this country? But there are so nice places in the world. Yeah, why you came in? Even in this town, in this country, so it's not so easy for me to understand.
Actually, we didn't have much time to get prepared for the whole project. We knew in October that there's a project running Europawärts, and we knew every information that you have to write a motivational letter. You have to be the ages between this and this. You have to have your matric certificate and all that. And then we all wrote a motivational letter. We all, did the necessary things. And in November, I think towards the end of November, we started with the program, actually, whereby we had a week with the Europawärts, which they are the German students that are now in South Africa. So we met in South Africa, and we actually had 1 week where we spoke about everything that we had to know for coming here. And truly speaking, it was not yet in my mind that, you're going to Germany, you have to know everything. But the first day was okay. We met the German guys and we spoke, and the second day, I think that's where we got slowly into things, where they told us about the Nazis. They told us about, they told us things that we should know and we should be prepared for when we come here. And that's when it hit me that, you're going to Germany. But I think it actually hit us the time we landed in Germany that you are here. We didn't have much time to actually get prepared, because we only had 4 weeks after the whole program, which we had a crash course of German language lessons, and afterwards we could go and spend more time with our families. It was in December, Christmas time, and we only had 4 weeks, I think. So those 4 weeks we were concentrating on our families and back on our normal life, and not on the German picture life. January the 14th, it hit us the first day in Germany that you are here, so yeah. Very cold winter.
So you didn't make an explicit choice. Yeah, I want to go to Dresden or to Germany, but it was because the organization transferred you to this place, and now you have to live here.
Yeah, and also looking for the person who coordinates the whole Europawärts program, Koniaga. She's originally from Dresden, so she could also organize the guest families easily from Dresden. So every time in South Africa, you've got this Nazis demonstration taking places in Dresden. All the years I've been watching that in South African news, and after looking at that, and now they tell me you go into Dresden. Oh my God, out of all the places. I was like, out of all the places in Germany, why not Berlin? I really wanted to Berlin. But then I think it's a blessing to be in Dresden, because all the things we talked about with my family, my friends, that you need to really be prepared. You go into a town where the discrimination is at its best. People won't tolerate you because of your skin color. And when I came here, it's a different situation. I go out in the night, I go party with young people, I sit in the park, I relax. I did not experience any discrimination since I've been here. So it's for me, it's an issue of tolerating one another. If the Dresdeners, they can tolerate me who I am, and I also tolerate them, we live together. That's what life is all about. Liebe und Überliebe.
So we in the last 1.5 hours we talked a lot of, and I think we could talk another 1.5 hours about every differences and your experience and our and all the things. I would thank you a lot for the information you gave our listeners. Maybe you have something you just want to add. Maybe that you have a message you want to give our listeners.
Can I say something? I want to say to actually send a shout out to one of our group, Europawärts. Her name is Precious Ndombela Bafana, and what's the other name? Gosnati Ndombela. She would like to hear her name on German radio, so I did it.
And I hope I don't have to
translate it.
To translate it into. I would get sick.
I know.
But a wonderful name.
Yeah. And maybe also to say a special thanks to our host organizations in Germany, especially in Dresden, the AIDS Helfer and the Freie Alternative Schule, and also
Montessori.
the Malvina Youth House.
And Langebroek Beach Camp.
Langebroek Beach Camp, yeah, of course. They've been the best host organizations that we've been with, and also to our guest families and also our colleagues. You know, we feel part of our organizations, and we take ownership and full responsibilities of what's happening on daily basis in our organizations. And to the listeners who are listening out there, I think our program, this is the first Europawärts program where young South Africans coming to Germany and also learning. So I would like to encourage them that the next group of volunteers that are coming to Germany, especially to the students, if they want to be the mentors, they can get in contact with us at the AIDS Helfer so that they can mentor the next group coming here. And also the parents, the families who want to be guest families for our next volunteers, they are also welcome to contact the AIDS Helfer and register as next guest families. Will really appreciate that to happen, and thank to the Dresdeners at large. And today we can proudly say we are Dresdeners.
You forgot to say thanks to our organizations back in South Africa, to GIZ, and a special thanks to this woman, Connie Jager. She is the rock in this project. So thank you very much to her.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you return in some weeks, what are you expecting back? Do you are already planning your next trip, or what are your plans in the next time?
For now, Sibu and I, we relate very much in this situation. We're not planning any other trip outside South Africa because this has been 6 months without, our loved ones and our families, and it's very tough. But I would like to visit other countries and do what I'm doing now, and I would really like to motivate other young, people to be involved in projects such as this. Because if it wasn't for Europawärts, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be in Germany, which I've never even had it at the back of my mind that I would come to Germany, most especially Dresden, So young people out there, if there's such opportunities, please grab it with both hands. Do your best, and enjoy it. Learn as much as you can, and do your best.
Yeah, like Fifi said, this is a very great opportunity and also a big developmental program. We learned so much during the process of us being in Germany, and there's so much experience to take back home and also share with young people in South Africa. So for me specifically, my next journey will be going back home and also sharing the experience and also bringing developmental projects in my community specifically, and also South Africa at large. So the experience is very huge. The skills I feel much heavier now. I've gained so much since I've been here. So for the next coming years, I will be in South Africa, empowering young people, not planning to go anywhere at the moment, like Fifi said. Yeah, we are about youth development. That's what we stand for, and that's what we're going to do back home in South Africa.
Yeah, thanks for coming here.
Thank you very much.